If you're struggling with clutter, you might want to try these 13 decluttering habits that have truly transformed my life that I'm sharing with you today. If you enjoy videos on simple living, decluttering, and home organization, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And let's jump into number 1. Ask yourself, are we actually using this? Not are we going to use it or have we used it in the past, but are you currently using this item? So whenever I'm going through my house cleaning or putting things away, I will come across an item and I will just simply ask the question, are we actually using this right now in our lives in this season that we're in? And if the answer is no, I declutter that item. Number 2 is set limits on what you're going to keep. This is as simple as choosing a bin, a certain size, and then once that's filled up of that particular item, then you're no longer going to keep any more. So let's just take Christmas decorations for an example. I have 2 bins of Christmas decor, and once those are full, then it's time to reassess what I'm bringing into my home. It's time to figure out what needs to go, because I honestly do not want to store more than 2 bins of Christmas decorations. That's just an example. This could apply for sentimental items or mostly things that you store away, but it could actually apply even to towels, setting the limit of 2 towels per person or whatever. Just setting a limit will help you make the decluttering decisions a lot quicker and it'll be a lot easier. Number 3, declutter as you go through your day. I no longer have to do a big full day of decluttering or a full week of decluttering. This is more for when you're in that maintenance mode, but just work decluttering into your everyday life if you can. So as you're going through your clothes, if you see something that you're never wearing, you're pushing to the back of the closet, or just always looking over that item and skipping it, take it out and put it in the bin to be decluttered. And you could also do a wait and see bin where you pull it out, put it in the wait and see bin, and then if you haven't visited that bin in, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks or a month, whatever you decide, then you can safely declutter all those items. I do this for my kids' clothes, toys, my clothes, just about everything in our house. As I'm putting things away or going through stuff, I will just grab something out in that exact moment and put it into the bin to be decluttered, because I no longer really want to do a full week of decluttering or a full day of decluttering. I also think this is a great way to stay on top of everything that you have and make sure that you're not increasing your level of stuff in your home. It's just a great way to stay clutter-free. Number 4 is be honest with yourself about the just in case items. I know our office closet right here, everyone said this closet looked like a shower curtain, I guess, in one of my videos, but it's actually a closet that we're just using a curtain as the door right now until we can work on that built-in closet. But for now, that closet has all of my office stuff in it. It has my camera stuff, but it was also full of a lot of just in case items where I thought, one day I might want to do this knitting project, or I might want to do this sewing project. And what I realized is that I had to get real with myself and say, am I just keeping this stuff because of just in case someday I might do it, or am I actually going to do this thing? Once I got serious about it, I decided, for instance, to let go of all my yarn because I knew I would not be doing any knitting or crocheting for a really long time. It's just not something I feel like doing right now in my life. It's not the season I'm in, but I still kept my crochet hooks and the needles just in case I do want to pick that up in the future. But I knew I could safely get rid of all the yarn because I did not want to work on it right now where I'm at in my life. Another positive habit I've added to my daily routine is Nutrafol. I've been using the Women's Vegan Hair Growth Pack for a few months now, and I've already seen some positive results, especially when it comes to shedding and how my hair feels. It's been really empowering to take a proactive approach when it comes to my hair health, and I'm excited to see how things continue to improve over the next few months. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over over 1.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF content certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy using a variety of hair measurement tools like hair counts and pull tests to assess growth, quality, shedding, and texture. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Shannon Torrens. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Shannon Torrens. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Shannon Torrens. And thank you to Nutrafol for sponsoring today's video. Number 5 is revisit the same spaces that you've already decluttered over and over again. You don't have to do it back to back, but I find if I go and declutter an area, let's just say the garage, I did a huge garage declutter, a few years ago, but that doesn't mean that I'm never going to declutter the garage again. It just means maybe 6 months from then or a year from then, I'm going to want to go back in and just see what else has crept back in, what else can go, just see if there's more decluttering that needs to be done. Because honestly, unless you are perfect, which I don't know anybody who is perfect when it comes to pretty much anything, you're going to have things come back into your home. It's just what happens when you have a life and you have kids and you have projects going on, so much stuff. And the garage is a really good example of a place that needs to be continually revisited every once in a while. Number 6 is the habit of decluttering during seasonal changes and transitions. So whenever I go from one season into the next one, I find that is a really good time to look through things that do change seasonally. So that could be home decor, your wardrobe, makeup, anything that you might change when the season changes, and just ask yourself a few questions like, am I still going to use this? Did I use this last season? Is this something that I'm still enjoying? And if the answers are yes, then of course you're going to keep it, but that's just a really good time to look at everything and see if you still want to keep it or if that season is gone and the items need to go as well. Number 7 is deal with incoming stuff immediately. This is so important and helps with keeping your home tidy. You don't have to do as much organizing and sorting if you're dealing with everything the second it comes in. This really applies to paperwork and kids' projects in our home because a lot of that is coming in daily. Could be receipts, mail, class projects, whatever it is. I like to get rid of it or put it where it goes right away. So I have a folder where receipts go that I need to keep, and then anything else I can just put straight into the recycling bin. I also talk to my kids and say, hey, is this project important? If it is, let's find a spot for it in one of your office drawers, they have in their room. And if it's not, then let's recycle it. So if you can deal with those things immediately, and this can even apply to bags of stuff coming into your home, just have a spot to hang it, have a place for everything. And if it's dealt with the second it enters the door, you don't have to then deal with it later on and have a big clutter pile that you have to come back to. And number 7 rolls right into number 8, which is give everything a home. So like I just said, if you have a hook that a certain backpack goes on all the time, my purse, I always put right into my office. I have a little spot that I like to set it, so I always know where it is. Everything in our home has a spot, and I always notice when something doesn't have a spot, because right now we are currently redoing our kitchen and everything in that area is kind of topsy-turvy. It's put in different spots. And the problem with that is then things don't have a designated area and they tend to just shift around and be left out on the counter because no one knows where they go. So it's really important to give everything a home, and that will keep you so organized, and it will also help you to realize what needs to be decluttered, because if something is just being pushed around and not really used, then it could probably be decluttered. Number 9 is practice the one in, one out rule. So whenever something comes in, you're getting rid of something that's very similar, donating or recycling or getting rid of in some way. I have found that this helps a lot with keeping us at the current level of stuff that we have in our home. And I've actually got to the point where I'm normally not bringing something in unless I'm already replacing that item. So for instance, if I decide I don't want this white shirt anymore, I would then go out and get its replacement instead of bringing something in and then thinking, oh, what can I get rid of that's similar? So I kind of flipped it, but it's still the one in, one out rule. Number 10 is super simple. It's just keeping a donation box, or whatever you want to call it, a bag of your choice, in a handy location that is easy to get to and something that you see often enough to be reminded that you're still decluttering and you need to be putting all your decluttering items in there. I do this for several different reasons. I do like the reminder that I see it and I think, ooh, I can just throw that in there. The other thing that's great about having a box that's intended to be emptied out and go to the thrift store is it gives you a place to put these things, because sometimes we think, oh, I don't want to declutter because I don't have anywhere to put it, and I don't want an extra pile of junk in the corner and all that sort of thing. So if you have a designated box for all your stuff, it's just a really easy way to get the clutter in one location. And then once it's full, you know, you can take it to the thrift store, the secondhand store of your choice. The other thing I was going to say, some people say, oh, just drop it off immediately. But if you don't live close to a thrift store, that can be really inconvenient. We're not really close to a donation drop-off. I just find that it makes more sense to gather everything till I have a big enough pile and then put it in the back of my car and take it when I am near that area. But you got to do what works for you, of course, in every situation. Number 11 is conversations and shared expectations, which is so simple, but it's just communicating with everyone else in your home about what they might want to declutter, or if they do want to declutter. I think me as a mom, just who I am, I've always just been in charge of all the stuff. And I've never interfered with my husband's stuff. Of course, I'm in charge of the kids' stuff, but now my kids are a little older, and I have definitely been having conversations with them about their stuff and what they might want to keep, what they no longer need. So for instance, whenever we go through their drawers, I go kid by kid. So I'll start with one of them and I'll say, let's go through your drawers and take everything out, and we'll go through it and tell me what you do want to keep and what you don't care about. And I'm always surprised when my kids say, oh, I don't really care about that project. Oh, that doesn't really matter to me. Oh, I don't need that sticker. Because before they would always say they needed to keep everything, but now they are deciding on their own what they want to keep and what they want to get rid of. Number 12 is the hidden to-do list. So let me elaborate a little bit here. These are the things that you think are going to be useful, or maybe they are useful, but something needs to be done with these items. So let's just say it's a project that you might have started, but you have no time to finish, and maybe you don't even really want to work on it anymore, but you keep it because you started the project and you already have it. Why get rid of it? And then you just feel guilty every time you see the project because you feel you should be working on it, even though you really don't have time for it. So a lot of these things are around our homes, and I have tons of examples of this. One is I saved a shirt from my husband's stuff that I said I'm gonna cut up and make it into a shirt for me, just a sewing project that I'm gonna do. And I still haven't done it because I don't have the time for it right now. And honestly, if I'm being really serious with myself, I'm probably never going to have the time for that, because unless I make the time for it, I'm not going to have all this extra time to do that. And part of me thinks, do I even really want to do it? I don't know. So that's one of those things that every time I see the shirt, I think, oh yeah, I wanted to do that. but I don't have time for it. It can add a lot of guilt and just a lot of mental strain on your brain to have this stuff around your house that you feel you should be doing, when really you could just declutter these items, do away with the stress, and move on with your life. So look for those hidden to-do things that you've told yourself you need to do, but maybe you don't even really need to do that, and it would just give you a break if you decluttered it instead. Number 13 is declutter at the source and look at your acquiring habits. So this is something that we never want to talk about, of course, is how we're bringing these things into our home. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're out shopping every day either. A lot of things can come in from your kids or freebies or well-meaning friends and family members that want to give you stuff because they no longer want it in their home, or they think that would be great for you or your kids. Whatever it is, there are all these different ways that things come into our homes. We could also just be shopping too much. A lot of the time, we see things online and we think that is going to solve my problem, or that is beautiful. I think I want that in my house. And then we bring it in and we didn't really have room for it, or we didn't think about where we were going to put it. And slowly it becomes clutter. So that is something that I am actively thinking about all the time now, which is just, do I need to bring more into my home? And if so, I want to make sure it's something that I really like, or it's replacing something that needs to be replaced. And that can help cut down on so much clutter, and it can help cut down on how much decluttering you need to do, because there's just less coming in. If you want more details, tips, and tricks on decluttering, I have a lot of blog posts on all of these topics, so I will link all of that in the description box below if you want to dig a little deeper. I hope some of these have inspired you and help you along your decluttering journey. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button to join my channel, and you can click right here to continue watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!